Hi everybody. If you looked at the title, this is gonna be a kind of different video to my regular channel, which is why I'm not like jumping up and being excitable and doing things. This is gonna be different. I'm not really one for, you know, calling people out or making drama or anything like that, but I feel like this is just such a big and blown up situation that I felt like I should talk about it. And because I've sort of been on the receiving end of this person, I'll talk about it later. Between scams, weird things in fursuits, and bad quality, we're talking about LSD Fursuits! Woo! If you don't know who LSD Fursuits is, you've probably just been ignoring the drama, and I get it. LSD Fursuits is a fursuit maker who has had a fair bit of bewares that honestly I feel are deserved for what this person has done over the past few months, years. I don't know how long this is going on for. Everything that will be used in this video, I am going to provide screenshots, videos, however none of them are mine, apart from two of them, which will be obvious because Lattie's in them. But these are all taken from Twitter and Instagram and some screenshots of YouTube videos that I couldn't find in social medias. I had taken some things from some people to prove my points for this video. Most of my evidence will be coming from two people, Untamed Fur on Instagram and Fluvvbusters on Instagram. These two accounts have done a lot to show evidence against LSD Fursuits and what she's been doing. Whenever she does something, they'll probably post about it. I think Fluvvbusters is a good one. Their whole account is just about LSD Fursuits and how we should be staying away from them. Untamed Fur has posted two videos, I think, or two sets of videos of her taking apart fursuit heads and finding something strange inside them. Oh boy. I do believe Untamed Fur also will repair your LSD fursuit if you ask them to. I'm not sure if that's like their thing, but they seem to have done that a few times now. So, you're probably asking, Lattie, what did LSD do? What did LSD do? I'll fucking tell you. Let's start off at the very basic kind of thing. There's been a lot of cases where she's had bad quality fursuits. So on the outside they look good, but when you really look into them it's not great. Something that they've done is they actually put polyfill stuffing inside the head. It's not something you do. Stuffing that you would put inside of like a teddy bear or your duvet. Duvets are meant to insulate heat because of the polyfill stuffing that's inside of them. You do not want that in a fursuit head. The last thing you want is to try and insulate heat in these because it gets warm enough already and you're going to die of heat stroke. So that was one thing. People were like, okay, what else? Let me tell you what else. There's been a few photos of just kind of bad sewing or seam work not being well or holes, and then someone found flaps like on a fursuit head, like behind the ear. It looked like there was just fur that hadn't been sewn or glued down. It was just hanging there for no reason. Like, come on, what are you doing? Like, you can just glue that down and even do something with it. There has also been cases of rabbit feces inside parts of the fursuit. Just take that in for a minute, just think about that. Animal feces, like actual animals. And that's also inside said polyfill stuffing that was dangerous. That's just two things in one. Wow! This is going great so far. But you know what? It gets worse. What's next? Oh boy. I think I better let Untamed Fur show you.
When we come inside the mouth, after I opened up the lycra, it exposed this pocket, which is it was fully covered inside of the mouth. You can see this metal piece. So this metal piece was, there's glue on it. You can see the glue. This piece is just in there.
Yep, this was the thing. This was the main thing that blew up on Instagram and everyone was talking about it, and this is kind of what made LSD as well known for being so terrible. Metal inside fursuit heads. Let's genuinely talk about that for a second. There are cases where metal and heads can be used. For example, resin bases with moving jaws will have hinges on the outside of the base to allow the jaw to move. These hinges are made from metal. This is a safe type of metal. It's also on the outside of the head, so it's not near the wearer's face. And it's smoothed down, and it's a professional hinge to allow a moving jaw. This is safe. This is not safe. Random scrap metal you found to perk your jaw open is not safe. Those have sharp edges, and after time they will probably start to move. And if they move closer to the wearer's face, that is extremely dangerous on so many levels that I cannot account for. A boop on the nose, or if somebody falls over and their muzzle goes in the way, that could cause penetration to the face, and that is a trip to the hospital. Thankfully, because these suits that had the metal in them were sent to Untamed Fur, nobody was hurt. But there was a chance that if these fursuits were not sent to Untamed Fur in the first place, someone could have got hurt. If there's something in your fursuit that's gonna hurt you, that's scary. That's very, very scary. And if you are knowing that you're putting something dangerous in a fursuit and you're not gonna do anything about it, and you're gonna run away from your problems, that is your problem, and you cannot blame people for calling you out on it. She claimed it was to hold the mouth open. There's other ways to hold the mouth open. Do you wanna know what you do? You take off the bottom jaw, and you move it down a bit. That's what I had to do with Latte, because his mouth was completely shut, and then I had to open it a bit. And it's fine, now I can breathe. You can also put holes in the foam base, cover it with mesh, and then put the fur over it for better ventilation. Your eyes can be used for ventilation. You can also hollow out the muzzle, which I've done, so my muzzle's all squishy, because I wanted better ventilation. So I hollowed out my muzzle, and then there we go. There's so many ways to make your ventilation in a fursuit better. You just have to research. But putting metal in a fursuit is not one of them, and will never be one of them. But guess what? She's done something else. But it gets worse. This is really the breaking point for LSD, when everybody started to realise who they were. Devin, on Instagram, wanted to get a fursuit for his kid. I think the character's name was Coach Cody. It was like his hip-hop giraffe character. I've seen the character. It's really fun looking. His kid wanted a fursuit of their character Coach Cody. Now Devin, who is the father, was like, okay. He looked around for fursuits and he found LSD Fursuits. Not knowing the dangers and the bewares and everything, because he's not in the fandom. He doesn't know the drama. He doesn't keep up with everything. He's not on Furry Twitter looking around. He just doesn't know the dangers, and he obviously didn't see the bewares when you look up LSD Fursuits. So this unknowing man commissioned them, and what did they do? What did LSD do? Well, first of all, even though LSD claims to have fast fursuit making skills, it took them a few months before they actually even sent any work in progress pictures to Devin. And when she did, there was things wrong. So he was like, oh, could you maybe change these? She did not like the fact that he asked her to change things. She was kind of tied off about it, but she did anyway. That's fine. She kept DMing herself. He just had a generally rude situation with LSD. He was like, hey, can I get a picture of the suit before you send it to me? No response. He gets an email saying your delivery has been sent to the wrong address. LSD sent the fursuit to the wrong address, and he kept emailing them like, hey, you sent this to the wrong address, can you please get this sorted, because I want my suit. Mind you, they spent $1,500 on this suit. He got no response from LSD. A few weeks later, he goes on her Instagram, and she is selling his suit as a pre-made, even though it was a commission. She's gonna make double the money off of someone else's character and design. This was the... Dexy's here. Hi, baby. You scratching my carpet? Thank you. Love you. This was the breaking point for LSD. People were like, this is fucking enough. She just scammed a dad and his kid $1,500 for a fursuit for a kid. And I felt so bad when I saw this story. I think Aurora posted the video on her story, and I watched it, and I just felt so bad for Devin, because he clearly just didn't know the dangers of some fursuit makers, and he obviously, and because he's not in the fandom, that puts a strain on us, because that makes us look bad, that makes us look like a bunch of scammers, and we're not. It was just that particular maker that he went to was. And if I had the money, I would want to make Devin a Coach Cody suit just to make up for the $1,500 that he lost to LSD. I want to make that character, or I really, really want to get this kid his fursuit, because it isn't fair. Like, this is a kid, and he wanted a fursuit, and then he didn't get it because LSD is a bad fursuit maker and a bad business person, and you should not work with her. So, when all these bewares came out, what did LSD do about it? And you would think that she would do something along the lines of professional and good, and apologise and take people's fursuits back and fix them and stop doing this. But what does she do instead? She blocks people, she runs away, and then she claims that she is the victim. Oof! There has been so many times where someone would call her out on her bullshit and she would immediately just block them and not say anything. And it's like, no. And she would always delete bad comments off her TikTok so she looks like she's a better person than she actually is. She angers me. She angers me. Why would you do that? You have to speak up about your bad things someday, otherwise people are just going to continue to hate you like they are now. And it's just this endless loop, and you're never going to fix anything. I was blocked by LSD Fursuits. Let me explain. So, I went on their TikTok and people were always like, oh my god, I don't know why people hate you, your suits are so cute. And then whenever I would try and explain to them, hey, this person is a scammer and a dangerous fursuit maker, my comments got deleted. I made a video calling her out, and either she saw it or someone sent it to her or something. But the next day I woke up and I tried to go on her account to see what she was posting, and I came with this. She blocked me on TikTok because I called her out on her bullshit. That's what she does. That is what she does. And honestly, I think it just shows how petty she is and that she can't actually deal with her problems like an adult. She just blocks people, she deletes comments, she runs away, she tries to make herself look better than she actually is. She claims that she has fast fursuit making and free repairs and good communication, and she'll always send whips. She never sends work in progress pictures. She never does most of these things, or she'll do them at like a very minimal pace. I don't understand what it is with so many scam fursuit makers and just like not sending work in progress pictures. If you're not working on the fursuit, just tell your buyer that you aren't working on it at this current time. People understand that sometimes things in life happen and you can't work for a while. I understand that mental health matters more than work sometimes. And if you need to take a break, you just tell your buyer, but promise them that they will get their fursuit eventually. Don't not respond to your buyer. Don't ignore them. Don't mute their conversation ever. Check if it's a situation where you don't get notifications. Keep checking to chat to make sure you're not ignoring them by mistake. If they ask for work in progress pictures, send fucking work in progress pictures. If you don't have any, explain why. Give your excuse. If they don't want to work with you anymore, refund them with what you can if you've bought materials, and it's all very case by case sometimes. But just communicate with your buyers. It's the best way to go about things. Be professional, be nice, don't be rude. And if you open your commissions and you get commissions, that is your work time. And you obviously, you have your break time, just in life, but there are times where you should be working on stuff, because people pay a lot for fursuits, and it's all a very expensive and tedious thing, and again, when you pay a lot for something, you expect the same quality of that thing back. And this is just something that LSD doesn't do. Again, her suits are reasonably expensive because she's got cute suits and she looks like she's good quality, but then when you look, she does all this stuff and it's like, your price tag is too high for the quality that you're sending to people. And I understand that there's still amateur makers out there. I would say I'm an amateur maker sometimes, honestly. There's just sometimes you don't really know how to do something, and there's some things that are bad quality, and people are okay with that. sometimes it kind of depends. You know, people are okay, small mistakes, as long as you realise you've made mistakes, you learn from them, and you don't set your price tag to I'm perfect stance. You kind of gotta, if you're still not working at the best quality, your prices should be lowered. I'm kind of trying to make sense of what I'm saying, but I can't really think of the words, and it's just not really working. But just, if you're lower quality, price yourself as lower quality. If you're higher quality, price yourself as higher quality. Don't let your ego flood with you and you think that you're higher quality than you actually are. If there's bad sewing and holes and weird things on your suit, then you are a lower quality maker. And I'm sorry to say it, but that's just what happens, and that's completely fine. You don't have to claim yourself as high quality. You don't have to claim that you're not amateur, or that you're just working through some things, or that things happen. And I get it, mistakes happen all the time. I've made some mistakes with making this head, I've made mistakes with making my other fursuits. It's just something that happens in life. But if you learn from your mistakes and you apologise and you are professional about it, then people will be okay with you. And if you actually learn from your mistakes and don't just claim that you are, then, you know, that's good too. And there have been other people that have claimed that, yeah, they are not the most professional person in the world. There's a tweet here I have that says, when have you ever approached it professionally, aside from deleting reviews and blocking people? You never owned up to your mistakes. It's always been excuses and lies for you. I think that just sums up LSD as a fursuit maker. She also emotionally manipulates people. She excuses herself when she claims that she's a good maker, and she said recently that she's done with caring and who sees the cruelty we've been subjected to for years. God, I'm the victim. I hurt people and I got hate for it, so I'm the victim. You were not the victim in this situation. Do you want to know what I think? My conclusion? I think I see through LSD. I think after the few years of all the bad reviews and the hate, I think it does get to her. And I think that's why she's turned so aggressive. Do I believe LSD is a bad person? No. Do I believe that they're a bad person in a business stance? Yes. They're a bad person to work with at the current time in a business stance. And I want them to be better as a business person. I want them to realise, oh, I've made a mistake. I want them to come out and apologise and just explain themselves. It would be nice if we could get an explanation. And don't just be so aggressive towards people and claim that other people are hurting you, because you've hurt other people, Elbi. You've hurt other people, and you need to accept that, and you need to grow from that. And that's what I want you to do. And if you can help people now in any way, I know that even if she does get better, it won't fix things completely, but it might help her business, and it might help her as a person. And I genuinely want Elbi to get better, even though I just ranted and yelled there for ages about how they are a bad person. I don't actually believe that. I think they could be better, and I want them to get better. Yeah. Elbi, you won't be watching this, but I'm going to send a message to you right here. I want things to get better for you. Professionally, you could be doing so much better. You have so much potential as a fursuit maker, and I hope you get out of whatever mental mess you're in right now to see your mistakes and grow from it. That's just all I want for you to do, and I hope you see that. And I know it's hard to realise that you've done something wrong, but when you do, it'll be better for you, and people might start to like you again if you just work towards it. I think that's this video. It's a bit different than usual, but this is kind of a beware on LSD Fursuits. At this current moment in time, I would not buy from them at all. They just seem in a weird place in their business. Yeah, LSD Fursuits, not a good person to buy from. Just stay away from LSD at this current moment in time. I think they need time to figure things out. That's it for me. I'll also be leaving Devon's Instagram and everyone's Instagram who was mentioned in the thing below. I like doing this with my paws, where like I take my fingers out so they just like do this cool little floppy thing. Flop, 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 flop. That's it from me. I'll see y'all soon. Goodbye!